TikTokers have been flooding the phone lines of members of Congress, so much so that one Republican member of the House, Mike Gallagher, head of the China Committee, took to the steps of Capitol Hill and told a gaggle of reporters that phones are ringing off the hook. This is all in response to the latest efforts by Congress to limit TikTok in the US. We've seen bills in the past that would look to ban the app. This one has a slightly different flavor. This week, a couple of committees in the House of Representatives introduced a bill that basically says TikTok needs to be separated from its parent company, ByteDance. ByteDance is a Chinese company, so these lawmakers are worried that that presents national security concerns. They're worried that the Chinese government could access US users' data or influence what folks see on their feeds. Now, TikTok, who's consistently said that they share no US user data with China, they wouldn't do so, and that they're separating off their US operations and protecting US user data through this big multi-billion-dollar project called Project Texas. What they've said about this bill is that it's not just a divestment bill. It's not just a bill that would force TikTok to separate or find a buyer. They say that, in essence, the way this bill is structured, it's actually just another ban bill. So the app took to one of its biggest defenders to voice their concerns. They sent out a notification to users over 18 asking them to enter their zip code so you could find your congressperson and call them and tell them your feelings about this bill. Lawmakers' phone lines might have been inundated, but in the end, this effort didn't seem to work. The bill was voted on in committee and passed unanimously 50-0 and will move forward to potentially have the opportunity for a vote in the House. So what happens next? Well, this bill would need to be called for a vote on the House floor and pass. That would be further than any of the TikTok ban bills we've seen in the past. Similar process would have to happen on the Senate side, and that would need to come together before this would be signed into law. In the meantime, I expect a lot more activity out of TikTok to try and show lawmakers that the app isn't a danger or that people just love it so much that it would be a mistake to actually ban it. Remember, we are in an election year, and young voters are a really important demographic for both parties. So it'll be really interesting to see how this continues to play out. Even as this initial bill in the committee had bipartisan support, when you start talking about the entirety of the House of Representatives, there are a lot more folks you need to convince that something's worth doing, particularly when there might be votes in November on the line.